misunderstood hero in a rusted suit. The docking clamps shuddered as Alex Rowan's transport kissed the side of Vayl Station. The airlock hatch hissed open, releasing a metallic tang with a hint of citrus, the Foxian's preferred atmospheric blend. He stepped across the threshold, boots clanging against polished alloy floors that reflected neon lines crawling like veins through the metal. His exosuit, patched, faded, and burn-scarred from too many reactor jobs, drew eyes immediately. Sleek Foxian soldiers at the checkpoint hissed laughter behind muzzle-like masks, their tails flicking in amusement. "Is that scrap walking?" one guard purred in their lilting accent. Alex pretended not to hear. The suit still worked, even if it looked like it had crawled through a furnace. Humans didn't need pretty, they needed functional. The station's pulse surrounded him. Turbine hums underfoot, violet advertisements rippling across curved walls, scents of spice-grilled synth meat drifting from the marketplace. And beyond the observation glass, the planet below shone with emerald cloud swirls, homeworld of the Foxian Dominion. He stepped into the lift platform, intending to report to Engineering Command, when a shrill alarm cut through the noise. A young Foxian noble, snowy fur and eyes the gold of molten metal, darted through the crowd chased by a frustrated escort. She collided with Alex before the platform lurched. The anti-grav unit sparked, whining, dropping violently. Instinct overrode protocol. Alex shoved her forward, his hand meeting furred backside, just as the lift's bulk came crashing down beside them. Sparks fountained, smoke curled. Alex rolled, pulling the girl against him as debris skittered across polished floors. The entire hull froze. Guards, merchants, civilians, even the screen's flickering advertisements seemed to pause. Alex released her and coughed through the smoke. "You okay?" She blinked up at him, pupils blown wide. Her tail, fluffy and ringed, trembled before curling protectively around her. He helped her to her feet, brushing fragments from her luxurious robes. Then the guards approached, weapons half-raised, but their expressions unsettled. "You," the escort whispered, voice hushed. "You touched the princess in claim fashion." Alex frowned. "I touched her to save her." Big difference. A ripple of shock passed through the onlookers. The princess's ears flushed pink beneath snowy fur. She stepped forward, chin lifted with regal defiance. "The right is invoked," she declared softly but firmly. "Witnessed by station and fate." Alex's stomach knotted. "Ma'am," he said carefully, "there's been a misunderstanding. Humans don't." But the princess's hand lifted, tiny clawed fingers brushing his suit's rusted plating like blessing. Her voice quivered with something between awe and embarrassment. "You have claimed me human. We must speak." Station security backed away as though the floor turned molten. Alex looked at the ruined lift, then at the gathered aliens bowing their heads. The suit's cracked visor reflected his incredulous face. He muttered under his breath, "Great. First job in months, and I accidentally proposed to royalty." Above them, the planet's auroras pulsed, as if the world itself had taken notice. A queen's claim and a panic attack. Alex Rowan barely had time to catch his breath before an elegant hovercar swept him across the glowing expanse of Vayl Station. The city lights reflected in the glass dome above like scattered stars, while streams of anti-grav traffic hummed a high-pitched symphony through the corridors of the megastructure. Inside the vehicle, Queen Cerisa sat with the poise of a predator, tail coiled around her seat like a living ribbon of power. "Human," she said, voice smooth as liquid silver. "You have performed the rite." Alex swallowed hard. His hands flexed in his lap. "I saved your life. That's it. There's been a huge misunderstanding. Sarissa's amber eyes narrowed, pupils vertical slits. No, Alex Rowan. You acted with honor and restraint. That is precisely why the claim is valid. He blinked. Honor. Restraint. In his world, it was just instinct, a reflex honed from years in fusion reactors about to explode. In her world, it was marriage. The hover car stopped at the palace. Its doors opened onto a platform of translucent alloy, overlooking the neon-lit city beneath. The air smelled faintly of jasmine and ozone, and Alex's human lungs sucked in a scent both alien and intoxicating. He stepped out cautiously. Palace guards bowed, a soft chorus of clicking claws and whispered hisses. Servants scuttled past carrying floating trays of luminescent fruits, their juices glimmering like liquid light. Alex tried to focus on the situation. He was human. He could adapt. He had to. Sit, Sarisa commanded, gesturing to a chair that hovered slightly above the floor. The motion was fluid, imperious. Alex did, feeling the gentle tug of low gravity still beneath his boots. His suit hissed softly as the joints adjusted. So, what happens now? He asked, voice tight. Now, she said, leaning forward. You are my mate. It is not optional. Our laws do not allow for refusal after the claim is witnessed. Alex froze, every muscle tensing. He had faced collapsing reactors, plasma leaks, even pirate boarding parties, but nothing had prepared him for this. Mate, as in like romantic mate. Yes. Her tail flicked, a subtle swirl of amusement and expectation. And political mate. You will accompany me to the council. You will train, learn our ways, and prove yourself worthy of standing at my side. He pressed his palms to his face. This is insane. Not. I don't. Sarissa's expression softened slightly, her fur shimmering under the neon light. You are human. That is precisely why you are desired. Humans are rare, unpredictable, stubborn, remarkable. Traits that our traditions value more than years of polished etiquette. Alex exhaled shakily, mind spinning. He glanced out at the cityscape, the stars winking beyond the station's dome. Humans were rare, yes. But could one lone human survive being a pawn in royal politics, and maybe fall for a fox queen in the process? The hover car's hum thrummed in his chest like a heartbeat. Somewhere deep in the sprawl of Vayl Station, destiny was waiting. And for the first time, Alex realized that being special could be as terrifying as it was thrilling. Trials, training, and tail flicks. Alex Rowan woke to the soft hum of bioluminescent panels lining the palace walls. The light pulsed gently, like a heartbeat, illuminating the delicate patterns etched into Sarissa's ceremonial chambers. The Fox Queen lounged on a levitating platform, tail coiled with the casual authority of a predator surveying its domain. Her golden eyes studied him as he stretched stiff muscles, still unaccustomed to low gravity. Your first trial begins at sunrise, she said, voice both teasing and commanding. It will test wit, strength, and endurance. Alex groaned, rubbing his temples. Can't we just skip to dinner or something? I didn't sign up for gladiatorial training. Sarissa's tail flicked sharply, the motion conveying both amusement and warning. Humans are remarkable. They adapt quickly when they have no choice. Let's see if you live up to the legend. The first trial was the labyrinth of mind and machine. Holoscreens flashed complex alien algorithms, interlaced with shifting holographic corridors. Alex's pulse quickened as mechanical drones zipped past, triggering traps if he hesitated. Humans might be physically weaker than Foxians, but Alex's ingenuity turned the tide. He rewired an abandoned control node mid-run, redirecting a swarm of drones into a dead-end chamber. By the time he emerged, sweat beading at his brow beneath the rusted helmet, Cerisa was waiting, leaning lightly on her staff. "You think too linearly," she teased, though her lips quirked into something like a smile. "Yet you survive where trained soldiers fail." Interesting. The second trial was physical. Zero-gravity combat over a pulsating energy arena suspended high above the palace spire. Alex tumbled through bursts of gravitic energy, dodging Foxian warriors who moved with fluid elegance. Every flip and swing tested him, and yet, time and again, human unpredictability, improvisation, stubborn tenacity, gave him the edge. He caught a falling energy baton with a grunt, rolling midair, and landed squarely on the target pad, igniting a soft golden glow. Cerisa's tail twitched with excitement. "You are frustratingly clever. And dangerously human." By the third trial, an emotional endurance test, Cerisa escorted him through the Garden of Echoes, luminescent flora that reflected inner fears and memories. Here, Alex confronted doubts about loyalty, worth, and his own heart. The scent of alien blossoms clung to him, sweet, metallic, almost intoxicating. He glanced at Cerisa, who observed silently, her amber gaze unflinching. "Humans fear nothing until they care," she murmured, tail brushing his arm. "You are unlike any I have ever known." Alex felt his chest tighten. Despite exhaustion, despite alien eyes and rituals, something inside him swelled, a mixture of pride, fear, and an undeniable attraction to the Fox Queen. By the time the sun, or what passed for it in the station's orbit, set, Alex was covered in sweat and grime. Cerisa's hand rested on his shoulder, her touch deliberate. "You endure. You adapt. You surprise. Perhaps you are worthy." He managed a weak grin. "Or maybe I'm just stubborn." Her tail flicked once, brushing against his arm. "That, human, is why you are special." Sabotage on the Starbridge. The alarm blared through Vayl Station, a shrill, piercing note that vibrated in the chest like a warning drum. Alex Rowan's boots barely touched the corridor as he sprinted toward the Starbridge, the massive interstellar energy conduit that supplied the entire planet with power. Holographic displays flickered with red alerts, casting the metallic walls in a warning glow, while the hum of failing reactors sent pulses through the floor. "Sabotage," a Foxian engineer gasped, tail stiff with tension. "Someone tampered with the flux regulators. If we don't stabilize the conduits, half the city will be a molten ruin in under 10 minutes. Alex's pulse spiked. He didn't need to see the schematics to know what to do. Human intuition had saved lives before, in environments far more lethal than alien courts. He yanked open a maintenance panel, sparks spraying, and scanned the intricate alien circuitry. The Foxian tech was sophisticated, but there were patterns humans understood. Cause and effect, weak points, predictable stress points. Human ingenuity, huh? Cerisa's voice came from behind, soft but urgent. She hovered in low gravity, her tail flicking like a metronome of concern. "Don't die. I refuse to marry a ghost." Alex gave a sharp grin, adrenaline masking exhaustion. "No promises." He plunged his hands into the humming conduits, rerouting plasma flows, rewiring flux dampeners, and improvising a makeshift stabilizer from spare parts. Sparks danced across the alloy floor like tiny stars. The conduit thrummed beneath him, hot and alive, reacting to every adjustment. His fingers burned. Circuits sparked in protest. Every second stretched into eternity. Above, the station's observation windows revealed chaos. citizens evacuating, hover drones zipping in arcs, and the planet's aurora dancing ominously. "Alex! You're overloading the secondary coils," Cerisa shouted, leaping beside him, claws skimming exposed panels to steady him. Her tail flicked over his arm, almost instinctive contact, grounding him. "I know. Just hold this line steady," he snapped, adjusting a control lever. The air vibrated with the surge of energy. Metal groaned under the stress. A pulse of fear shot through him. One wrong move and the entire Starbridge could collapse. He took a deep breath, feeling that human stubbornness, the refusal to quit even when odds were insane. Fingers shaking, sweat dripping beneath his helmet, Alex made the final adjustment. The hum steadied. Red alerts blinked out. The plasma conduits cooled. Silence settled, punctuated only by the hiss of vented energy. Cerisa exhaled, her amber eyes wide, tail coiled tightly around her. "You saved them. You saved me." Alex slumped against the panel, exhausted but alive. "Guess humans are useful, in more ways than one." She stepped closer, her fur brushing against his shoulder, eyes softening. "You understand loyalty, bravery, and more than that, you care when it matters. That is why you are extraordinary, Alex Rowan. And why I chose you." For the first time, he felt the weight of being human. Fragile, improbable, yet capable of tipping the balance in a world of gods, aliens, and impossibilities. Above them, the auroras flared in silent applause, and the Starbridge hummed steady again. A monument to human ingenuity, stubbornness, and heart. Love, loyalty, and the Foxfire Coronation. The palace shimmered beneath the twin moons of Vayl, its translucent spires catching the aurora's shifting colors like molten glass. Alex Rowan stood at the threshold of the Grand Hall, rusted exosuit polished and patched from weeks of training, heart pounding beneath layers of alien ceremonial robes. The council had gathered, a sea of fur, scales, and gleaming eyes, all waiting to see if the human would stand beside their queen or falter like so many before him. Cerisa appeared at his side, radiant in her ceremonial regalia. Her golden fur seemed to glow with an inner light, tail coiled around her like a living banner. She glanced at him, eyes soft but commanding, and Alex felt a thrill of both terror and awe. "You are ready," she murmured, claws brushing his hand, a gesture that sent warmth straight to his chest. "This is more than tradition. This is trust." Alex swallowed, scanning the council's scrutinizing eyes. He had saved the Starbridge. He had endured trials that would have killed lesser beings. Yet now, human vulnerability, courage laced with empathy, mattered more than muscle or protocol. He stepped forward, voice steady despite his racing heart. "Members of the council," he said, "I do not claim the throne. I do not seek power. I stand here because I was chosen, and because I will do everything in my power to support Queen Cerisa and protect her people." Murmurs rippled through the hall, tails flicking, scales rustling. Cerisa's ears tilted forward in approval. "He speaks truth," she said. "And in truth lies honor." The high priest approached, claws trailing along an orb of shimmering foxfire. The flames twisted and danced, reflecting off Alex's visor. He raised his hand instinctively, letting the firelight play over his fingers. "By the rights of our ancestors," the priest intoned, voice resonating through the chamber, "this union is sanctified. The human and the fox queen shall stand as one, bound by choice, loyalty, and courage." A warmth coursed through Alex as Cerisa reached for him, her claws gently pressing against his chest plate. Their eyes met, hers blazing with intensity, his wide with disbelief and admiration. Slowly, carefully, he removed his helmet. The council gasped, and the foxfire reflected in his human eyes, highlighting the improbable, stubborn determination that had carried him here. "You are extraordinary," Cerisa whispered, brushing her nose against his in a Foxian gesture of affection. "You have proven more than worthiness. You have proven love." The ceremony reached its crescendo as the twin moons aligned with the palace spire. Fireworks of neon light exploded across the night sky, mirrored by streams of foxfire swirling in the hall. The council erupted in approval. Alex's heart thundered in sync with the aurora above, human and Foxian spirits intertwined in celebration. Later, on the palace balcony overlooking the city, Alex allowed himself a breath. The hum of the Starbridge echoed below, steady and alive. He chuckled softly, shaking his head. "So," he said, glancing at Cerisa, tail brushing his arm, eyes sparkling. "Guess this means I can't slap anyone's but without a legal contract now, huh?" Cerisa purred, tail curling warmly around him. "Too late, mate, that is law now. And I rather like it." Above them, the auroras danced in silent applause, and Alex Rowan, human, improbable, extraordinary, realized that being special wasn't just surviving among the stars. It was thriving. The hum of the Starbridge thrummed beneath them, a steady heartbeat beneath the neon glow of Vayl Station. Beyond the viewport, the city sprawled like a circuit of light, twisting and pulsing under the twin moons, while distant stars winked in silent applause. Alex Rowan and Queen Cerisa stood on the palace balcony, the faint pulse of artificial gravity steady beneath their boots, tails brushing lightly as if sharing the same breath. The air smelled of ozone and blooming luminescent flora, a scent uniquely Foxian but strangely comforting to Alex. He lifted his hand and traced a line along the curve of her fur, a gesture human in its simplicity, yet weighty with unspoken meaning. "You survived it all," Cerisa murmured, amber eyes reflecting the auroras above. "Not just the trials, the sabotage, but me." Alex let out a soft laugh, voice tinged with awe and exhaustion. "Humans, we're stubborn, sometimes foolish. But we care. And I care about you. More than I ever expected." Cerisa leaned forward, whiskers brushing his cheek. "And that, human, is why you are extraordinary." Behind them, the city hummed with life. Citizens safe, the Starbridge glowing steadily, the council silent in reverent acknowledgement. The human had not only survived, he had transformed the alien world's view of possibility, proving that courage, ingenuity, and heart could outshine centuries of tradition. Alex took a deep breath, the stars above mirrored in his wide human eyes. "Then let's keep going," he said, voice steady. "Together." Cerisa's tail wrapped around his arm, curling snugly, as the auroras pulsed one last time over the station. "Together," she agreed, her voice a soft echo against the city's hum. And in that moment, human and Foxian, improbable and extraordinary, stood side by side, proof that even among the vastness of stars and alien worlds, some hearts are destined to shine brighter than the rest.